For centuries, the wide stretch of water between Mexico and the southeastern United States has been known around the world as the Gulf of Mexico. It's not just a name, it's a label rooted in history, culture, and identity. But now, that long-standing name is under dispute, and it all started with a decision by the President of the United States. Earlier this year, President Donald Trump, now serving a second term in office, signed an executive order declaring that the waters within U.S. territory should no longer be called the Gulf of Mexico. Instead, renamed it the Gulf of America. This decision immediately caused confusion and outrage, especially south of the border. Shortly after Trump's announcement, Google updated its maps. In the US, the body of water began showing up as the Gulf of America. In Mexico, it still appeared as the Gulf of Mexico, and in international waters, those parts not directly under any country's control, the label was changed to read Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. This sparked a diplomatic and legal storm. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum didn't waste time responding. During a press conference on Friday, May 9, 2025, she announced that Mexico had filed a lawsuit against Google for what she called the mislabeling of a historic and shared geographical feature. She didn't specify where or when the lawsuit was filed, but she made it clear that Mexico sees this as a serious matter. She said, and I quote, "The Gulf of Mexico is part of our national identity, our history and our sovereignty. No country has the right to rename it without international agreement." Mexico argues that while the United States may call its own coastal waters whatever it likes, it has no authority to change the name of the entire Gulf, especially not in waters that lie within Mexico's territory or in international waters. Before resorting to legal action, Mexico's foreign ministry sent letters to Google asking the company to avoid renaming any Mexican waters as part of the Gulf of America, but Google refused to reverse the changes. In a response letter sent in February, Google's Vice President of Government Affairs and Public Policy, Chris Turner, stated that Google's labeling was meant to remain neutral and in line with their long-standing policy of following regional naming conventions as defined by governments. But for Mexico, the issue isn't neutral at all. It's deeply personal and political. The name Gulf of Mexico isn't new. It goes back more than 480 years. After Spanish explorers began exploring the coastline in the early 1500s, they referred to the body of water as Golfo de Mexico. Spanish expeditions led by figures like Juan de Grijalva and Francisco Hernández de Córdoba explored much of what is now Mexico's southeastern shoreline. These names appeared in European maps as early as the 1540s. Over time, the name became the internationally accepted term used by governments, mapmakers, and historians alike. Today, the Gulf borders 5 U.S. states: Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, and 6 Mexican states including Veracruz, Tamaulipas, Tabasco, Campeche, and Yucatan. It's a vital part of both countries' economies, supporting major industries like fishing, tourism, international shipping, and offshore oil production. This is why many in Mexico see Trump's decision as more than just a political stunt. They view it as an erasure of history and an overstep of power. The Associated Press, one of the world's leading news organizations, chose not to follow Trump's directive. The news outlet has continued to use the name Gulf of Mexico in all of its reports, recognizing the historical and international importance of the name. In response, the Trump administration restricted AP's access to press events, including Oval Office briefings and official trips aboard Air Force One. This sparked yet another lawsuit, this time from the media. The AP filed a case against 3 Trump administration officials, claiming that the decision violated freedom of the press. Last month, a federal judge sided with the AP, ordering the White House to restore full access for its journalists. The judge ruled that the government cannot punish news organizations for how they report the facts or which terms they choose to use. The decision sent a strong message not just to the White House, but also to tech companies like Google. This is not just about a map label. It's about who gets to define history. It's about whether one powerful country can rewrite the names of places that belong to the world. For Mexico, the Gulf of Mexico isn't just a stretch of water. It's a part of their national heritage. As the lawsuit against Google moves forward, the outcome could shape how digital platforms handle geographic naming disputes in the future. Can a tech company decide what the world calls a place? Or should these names be protected by history, international law, and mutual respect? Let's know in the comments section. For now, the Gulf remains caught in the middle, not just between two countries, but between two different views of truth.